Brooklyn's historic The Black Lady Theater is now taking bookings. Host your next birthday party, concert, networking event, baby or bridal shower, wedding, art show, gala, corporate event, live stage play, audition, and so much more. At the one and only The Black Lady Theater. Mention code GODCAST for 15% off your rental fee. Code good for the first-time customers only. Valid for a limited time. Call 718-771-0900 to book your event today.
Peace. Today is Sunday, August 25th, making today's math, wisdom, power, refinement, all being born in God. Wisdom is the wise word spoken by the wise black man. Power is the truth, and the truth is the light that takes one out of darkness, and God is your supreme higher self. Peace.
Welcome back to Yanadameen Godcast. Now you let it fade around here. You let it fade down and then you take us out. I'm Lord Jamar.
Godfrey.
Okay, Digger. She's not here. She's on vacation. She went to Cancun. She liked to copy my moves. It's all right though.
How long is she going?
She'll be back for the next
Fun.
episode.
She rubbing it in your
Yes,
face?
actually, she's out there with one of our people that we, a friend to the show, Foxy Alex. I don't know if you've met Foxy Alex. Foxy Alex is Digger's best friend, and she just celebrated her birthday. Happy birthday, Alex. I'm not going to be revealing, her age. I don't know if she wants that, but, whatever. Her and Digger's best friends, and so they went to Cancun with a bunch of other sisters, and, they doing their thing out there. I was just in Cancun a little while ago, I'm not saying that they copying what I did. I'm just saying, it is what it is. Anyway, behind us, I got the God Jah Will.
Hey.
Okay, peace to the God.
Peace, God.
On the wheels of steel behind us, and we got to my right two very special guests that's gonna spend time with us today.
Peace.
First of all, to my farthest right, we have Froi Cuesta.
Froi Cuesta.
There
we
it
go.
is, Cuesta. I always want to say his name the wrong way.
Right.
Froi Cuesta, director extraordinaire.
Nice. Appreciate it.
Director of a independent, animated film, I guess
It's
animated
a
short?
Yeah, it's a docudrama.
Okay.
It's half animation and half documentary footage with some illustrations to, push it along.
And the name of it?
It's Unalienable Rights.
Unalienable Rights. And I happen to be in the film doing some voice acting.
Nice.
He actually did 3 characters.
Yeah, I did about 3 characters in there. We can clap it up for that. Okay. And to my immediate right, we have a member and descendant of the MOVE organization. And for a lot of you who don't know about the MOVE organization, you're going to learn today. We have brother Mike Africa with us in the house right about now. Clap it up for Mike Africa. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us here on the Yanadameen Godcast at the historic Black Lady Theater here in the heart of Brooklyn. You know what I mean? Welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Yes. So Froi, I've known this man, we grew up in New Rochelle together.
Naruma.
Yeah. And, you know, there's a lot of talented people in New Rochelle, I'd say.
No doubt.
Especially in the crop that we grew up in.
God bless, no doubt.
Kimberly's on Eyewitness News.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Okay. What's her last name?
Richardson.
Kimberly Richardson.
Yeah.
Okay, we grew up with Kimberly Richardson.
Nice.
Vance
Like,
Wright.
That Vance Wright. Come on, there's a whole lot of New Rochelle talent.
Yours truly.
Bam.
I mean, you know what I'm saying?
So anyway, Froi, I've known him since teenager. He ended up being a filmmaker.
We actually did a party together. Jay had the records. I had the equipment. I think it was it Gail's?
That was the story.
That was Gail's, right? Was it Gail?
Gail.
Yeah, I think it was Gail's. It was her birthday party in the summertime. I remember.
Great house parties back in the days.
Yeah, we were 13. We doing it back then. We 13. I was 13 years old. I remember because my pops was still alive. He came to get me, and it was like 2 in the morning. And yeah. So we had to have been like 12, 13 years
I
old.
was hanging out at 2 in the morning at 13.
Oh no! This is real talk.
Yeah.
This is real talk. This is how we did.
Yeah.
He was there.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what time do you think we were coming home when we got back from the rooftop?
Word. Or the skate key.
Or the skate key?
And then you gotta go to White Castle.
Oh, no
after
doubt.
that. You can't just go home.
Nah.
But anyway, so this brother, he started doing videos at the time that, you know, we came out, and it was like, oh, okay, Froi, I didn't even know you was into you don't really know what dudes is into unless they announce it. So how do you really announce, yo, I'm a filmmaker when you're a teenager, unless you walk around with a fucking, and you wasn't doing that.
I wasn't.
You was just, but you just a cool dude you see around.
Appreciate.
So then I found out you were a filmmaker and you were directing videos. Oh, okay, that's impressive. And he was doing his thing and he kept doing it. Some people say they want to do some shit, they'll dabble in it. Oh, that's not really their passion. They leave it alone. No, this guy stayed with it. Years later, I don't know, you can go through some of the things that you've done.
You work with other people like Spike Lee or whatever. You ever do anything?
I've done a couple. We started off doing music videos.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That's how it kind of started when I got out of went down to the University of Maryland. And figured some things out. But I always was into filmmaking.
Yeah.
But when I got back, Spike was doing this thing, so I checked out 40 Acres. I think I was on a set as a PA. It wasn't one of his. He was the EP in it, but it wasn't one of his directing joints. But started making my way up, getting on crews for different video shoots. At the time, Mary J was kind of large, Das Effect, and I noticed that they were coming out of this one production house called 900 Frames. So I started off there, as a PA, production assistant, and then within a year started doing joints. On another level, not directing yet, but from a PA, production coordinator, production manager, assistant director.
More responsibility.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So I think the first one, was Khadijah, for this group that didn't really blow up, but this group called Dirt Nation. There were a bunch of my friends that went to Maryland with us, and Kedar Massenberg, was able to
remember this.
Yeah, him and Daddy O, and there was some Ed had produced the track. No doubt. Oh no, I've been around, P. Been around. So with that, after Khadijah, which we had a little in on at BET, and that got some spins, because back then, certain things you needed a little help with. So then after that, Loud Records came around. And Steve Rifkin's younger brother was a buddy of mine. Yeah, John Rifkin.
That's my lawyer's nephew.
Oh, well, see?
Jamie Rifkin.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
See, the Rifkins
He
go.
talks about all of them. Right? He represents all of them. He goes, yes, I know Raekwon.
That's right.
Method Man. I know them all. EPMD.
Well, hey, I'm But I'm gonna tell you, it was Steve's pops, Jules, God bless him, who really paved the way. He was a known guy, put it like that, and helped Steve to become a bigger person than just a street promoter.
Was he a good dude or was he
He's a good guy.
son of a bitch?
No, who? Jules?
No, Rifkin. Was he a good
All the Rifkins to me are good people.
I've had
all the
I've
Rifkins
had
to me.
dealings with Steve Rifkin. Like
Okay.
I signed
me.
Dead
To me.
Prez to Loud at that time.
Okay.
And I have nothing bad to say.
Yeah, man. And my,
See that, Rick?
Good people.
Or
like-
Rich Isaacson.
There we go.
What was that other
business
guy
partner.
they always talk about? The other dude they always talk about that takes everybody's money. One with the white hair. You know what I'm talking about?
What are you talking about,
In
Leor?
him. That dude.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
always Cohen, Leor Cohen. They
Yeah.
always like, no, fuck him, man. And he always showing like.
Well,
They always show
he
how-
might
how
have a little
he is.
something to do with you two. So I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
he definitely does.
Oh, he does.
Oh, he
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can't say nothing bad about him.
No, I didn't say that. But I'm just saying.
Did he buy up YouTube? He bought it up.
We're definitely on YouTube.
You know what I'm saying? We support you two.
Right now.
We support you
I'm just
two.
saying they always talk about, because I'm not in music, so I don't know. They always say that dude did
I just don't want no one to say. I just don't want no one to say, "Fuck you two," like "fuck Hot 97." You know what I'm saying? I don't want nothing to. No. That's, no, I got some feelings. I'm sorry. I got some feelings. I'm sorry. I got
Before
some
this
feelings.
show goes off the rails, why don't, if you want to continue to see this show, why don't you donate to cash.me/$Yanadameen, patreon.com/Yanadameen, Yanadameen.com/support, or bounty.com/Yanadameen. We appreciate any amount is appreciated. We love you. We thank you. Phones.
Is that a commercial break right there? Can I go to the
Well,
bathroom?
that's just
Can I go to the bathroom?
Naturally, what happened?
Oh no. Oh, damn! Don't tell me you suffer from incontinence already, bro.
I do take blood pressure pills.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so-
Well, you know what? If you really have to go with that bag, go ahead. We're gonna talk to the brother Mike Africa. We're gonna zoom in. How are you, brother?
I'm great. I'm on the move, man. I'm great. And listen, this is, before we get into it, right?
Okay.
This is the most entertaining interview that I've ever been a part of. Just say that. Put that on the record.
We just got started. How much time we got for this particular segment? Oh shit.
Sweet. Get him.
So listen, I want this show is not just about entertainment, but it's also about education. As KRS would say, edutainment. So that being said, I'd like you to let people know about the MOVE organization, what it was, what it is, it's why it was originally formed, when it was formed, by who it was formed. Let's get into some of the origin of the MOVE. Because for those of you that don't know, there was an American travesty that happened in Philadelphia where the police dropped a bomb on American soil on its own people. Black men, women, and children on a revolutionary conscious group. And so this is their story. Let's get into it.
First, let me say thanks for having me on the show. Appreciate you.
Thank you for coming.
This is truly an honor. The MOVE organization was founded by a wise, strategic-minded black man named John Africa. John Africa started the organization with the mission of his belief is natural law. He believes in life. And the mission is to protect life and to encourage other people to protect life too. And when we say life, we're talking about people, animals, and the environment. John Africa believes that all life is sacred and important, and there should be no one dictating or enslaving or controlling other forms of life. You know, and that
Sounds like a very Native American way to look at things.
you could say that, yeah. I mean, like, so John Africa would see animals in the zoo, and he didn't look at that as a place to go spend some money and see an animal that's brought 10,000 miles away from his homeland and stuck into a tiny cage in Philly. He looked at that as the imprisonment of animals, just like he looked at the slavery of black people. It's something that shouldn't be. So he started the organization, and people followed that example of, you know, that, and also health and fitness is a really big part of the organization, and eating healthy. And when you eat healthy, and when you believe in health, and when you fight for your own health, and when you know, take care of yourself, there's only but so much you will allow an external system to impose on you. Right?
Now, didn't brothers like Laila Africa come out of the move, the African Holistic Health, if I'm not mistaken?
I'm not familiar with, what's that?
That's a book that deals with,
You know what?
African holistic
To be
health.
honest, with a lot of books have been written since, and probably some before too. You know,
I believe this brother came from the move, if I'm not mistaken. Laila, I'm not sure if I'm saying his name. Huh? Layla. Oh. Okay. Okay, maybe I saw the name Africa.
A lot of
associated him with.
yeah. I mean, Dick Gregory, a supporter, wrote books and got information on diet. I mean, there's pictures of him at the platform where their move was at, and he was like coming to get information, and John Africa talked to him, and you know, and they collabed on certain things.
And this is Philadelphia.
This is
based,
Philadelphia.
Yes?
John Africa's from Philly,
Okay.
and this is early 70s. This is like the above ground chapter of the organization. I mean, John Africa was like scheming and setting up ways to fight the system long before the above ground chapter started in the 70s. I mean, he's a Korean War veteran, and he knows and understands. He saw war. He saw people being shot and ripped apart by bombs. He saw the mountainside of Korea being decimated because of
what
the war.
year is this that he's
is-
starting this?
He started the above ground chapter started in the 70s. But
Early
the
70s?
Early 70s, like 72-ish.
Okay.
But the original move members, the first original move members were in Korea. Long before the above ground chapter move started. So we're talking in the 50s.
Wow.
Yeah. That's why we call John Africa strategic minded. Because in order to have revolution, you have to attack a system on many fronts. You can't just go at them directly. You have to have other things in place and other strategies in order for it to work. It's the same way the government do us. They don't just come at us with, they don't just come at people with the military and the police. They come at you with your friends, with your family.
Liberals.
You know what I'm saying? So that, you know, in that same understanding, you got to fight with what you have. So John Africa started the organization. People is involved. When people started actually learning about health and actually exercising and needing hospitals less, and the women were having babies at home because they didn't need to go to hospitals, and the people that were on pills, on medicine for their illnesses and sicknesses, they started to extract themselves from that. They got healthy. And people really understood that they saw something. It was in natural law. Everything that you have, every disease, every ailment, every sickness, whatever exists, there's a cure for it. And John Africa was showing people that those cures are in nature. And when people started learning that and understanding that, applying it, and it's working for them, the system started to attack move.
Because I was just about to say, like, this all sounds like positive stuff. Like, why by 1978 do we have our first major confrontation with the police and the MOVE organization? How do we go from, you know, all of these things that we would see as positive, somehow the establishment felt like it was negative? What kind of things might have helped to create a climate for such an event
Well,
to happen.
Sorry.
How much time? How much time?
Get the fighting started.
Hey,
So you
calm down, Rock.
Come on, Rocky. You started it with the colors. I didn't do nothing. I'm not racist. Apollo's my best friend.
It's your fucking fault, Rock.
Come on, Mickey.
the thing is, in the early days, it wasn't automatically police attack these people. Once people started seeing and the system got threatened because, you know, when any major event happens, follow the money, right?
Right.
You know, pharmaceuticals are like, wait a minute. If people actually start listening to this guy,
Right.
follow them, right? So then the police started attack and move. When they were attack and move people, it got to a point where they were beat and move women, and pregnant move women were beaten to miscarriage.
Baby died.
Baby died. The police knocked Janine Africa's 3-week-old son out of her arms and trampled him to death. So Move took a defensive stand, built a platform around the house after not being able to get any support or justice from the system. Built the platform around the house, armed themselves, and said, "Look, next time y'all come at us, we're gonna match y'all with everything you come at us with. If you come at us with fists, we'll fight you with fists. You come at us with clubs, we'll fight you with clubs. You come in here shooting and killing our brothers and our sisters and our children, we will shoot back in defense of our lives." So that led to a standoff. The police didn't do anything for almost a year. But then on August 8th, 1978, they had their plan together, their strategy as to how they were going to attack, and they came
Now,
to
when
our
you
house.
said they didn't do anything for a year, it's not like they were sitting outside the house for a
The
year.
police were sitting outside the house
There was blockades.
round the clock.
For a year.
24/7.
blockades.
Them police made so much
Okay.
money on overtime, they were buying boats, ships, yachts, and naming them after Move members.
Wow.
Because you got to remember.
Wow.
They were around the clock.
You got to remember the land, the area that at the time was considered Bolton, right?
Powelton Village.
Powelton Village.
Drexel campus.
Drexel was flexing, was buying and building. You know, Drexel University, if you look at Philadelphia.
And that's what universities do, period. They try to eat up
Exactly.
all
We see
real
how that's-
estate right around
That's
them.
right. You see how that
And a lot of
happened
them are
with
in
Columbia.
poor neighborhoods, too.
USC is, my university, they're all in the poor neighborhoods. Yep.
Well, that's where Rocky comes in.
Okay.
So there's a Italian police commissioner who becomes the mayor, and Sylvester Stallone.
And his name was?
Frank Rizzo. Frank Rizzo,
Rizzo.
was the mayor. Sylvester Stallone had been seeking this city to do his movie in.
Right.
This was 1977.
Because
And
Stallone is not from Philly, no?
he is not from Philadelphia,
Okay.
but he made the movie in Philly.
Right.
And Frank Rizzo, the police commissioner, the mayor, this guy who wants to, urge Italians and white people to fight for better jobs. We're not going to waste our time trying to get in line next to these Negroes. We're going to fight for better jobs. You're dealing with people, and these people are barbaric. That was his attitude. That was his way. Those are things he said. So
They
Sylvester
act
Stallone.
like Trump is the first. See, that's what I'm saying.
Frank Rizzo
It's always
was brutal. Like this police department in Philadelphia could invade Cuba and win. That's a quote from Frank Rizzo. This police department, we are now trained and equipped to fight wars. Break their heads is right. Right? So that was, the climate. That's the way it was. So when they came to us on our house, and with them hundreds of cops and smoke and tear gas and a wrecking ball and a hydraulic cherry picker, and they tore our house down on top of us with us in it. My mom and my dad and my Uncle Chuck were in the house. My mom was 8 months pregnant with me. And that's how they came. And then during that, shooting starts. They shooting up the house. A cop gets shot. He dies. who you think they blame it on.
Right, and it very well could have been friendly fire that killed this guy.
Absolutely. So, move people gets locked up. Move people gets sentenced 30 to 100 years. My mother and my father got 30 to 100 years prison sentence. And I was born 5 weeks after the confrontation in a jail cell.
Wow.
People, you have no idea. So, what people don't understand about this is that, you know, we hear about the bomb that got dropped. That's actually a whole different incident from 78. That ends up happening in 1985. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take a break right now. We're gonna come back. We're gonna talk more about you, your life, the move, what it was like to be born in prison, all of that, your parents being locked up for 40 years, them coming back home, what's that like? We're gonna talk about it all. Take us out, y'all will? Yanadameen Godcast. Yeah. Welcome back to Yanadameen Godcast. I'm Lord Jamar. Digga is on vacation and she will be back next week. She is in Cancun getting her tan on. I know she's gonna come back all golden and all of y'all YouTubers are gonna be lusting over her in the comments. I know how y'all do.
Moreno.
Listen, don't forget to subscribe and click that bell so you get notifications whenever we drop a video, whenever we go live on YouTube Live. Shout out to the YouTube Live people in the house. What up? And also, listen, if you'd like to donate to the show, go to cash.me/$Yanadameen, patreon.com/Yanadameen, Yanadameen.com/support, or bounty.com/Yanadameen. Any amount is appreciated. We thank you. So we're here with our special guests, Froi Cuesta.
Yes, sir.
And Mike Africa from The Move. Clap it up, y'all. Froi Cuesta, the director of Unalienable Rights. It is a docudrama, animated docudrama.
Yes, sir.
What, a four-part
Miniseries.
based around The Move, based around Mumia Abu-Jamal, and all the events that happened at that time.
Yes.
I had the privilege of being a voice actor in the film. I played Mumia, I played John Africa, and I played Chucky. Yeah, it was fun. It was dope. But right now, we've been talking with Mike Africa, and we're going to talk more about the film and where it's going and all of that. We got a whole nother segment, so we're going to take our time. But we talked about the initial confrontation in 1978 with the police, the mayor, Rizzo, at the time, fucking Rocky, helping the fucking climate of all of this, you know, Italian toughness, you know, making the fucking white boys feel tough against the black man, you know what I mean? So that happened in 78. Your parents went to jail, you said, for 40 years.
40 years, yeah, I mean, that's what happened.
You were born in jail.
In a jail cell, I got the pictures to prove it.
Wow. We haven't even seen, Tupac was supposedly born in jail. We haven't seen those pictures.
Right.
Not to say that it didn't happen. I'm just saying that there are no pictures of that, but you have pictures of you.
I have pictures of the jail cell, and I have pictures that my mom was in, the pictures of the actual jail cell and I have that. And newspaper, Move Baby Born in Jail, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, talk a little bit about that. Like, what's that like?
You know, when I first heard about it, my cousin, who was kind of like a bully, he said it to me when I was a kid, just talking about it, like, yo, you was like
in a bully fashion?
Yeah, like in a joke like teasing kind of way.
Right.
We in a house, you know, in Philly, especially where we live, there was a lot of crime, right? So we talking about jail, and I don't want to end up in jail. And my cousin, you don't want to end up in jail. You was born in jail. You was born a jailbird.
That is a joke. Like,
I didn't think it was a joke. I thought he was lying.
Right.
right, no, I thought, this is what I mean. Like,
Oh, right.
born in jail. Shut up. It's like,
Something like that.
Yeah.
But I knew he was a bully because he's been a bully all my life. Well, at least up to that point. And I'm like, no, I wasn't, Grandma. Was I born in jail? And she was like, yeah, you were. And I'm like, what? What do you mean? So I'm like, that's not cool.
true.
I was embarrassed, man. I'm like, I was born in jail. So, you know, I remember being in school one day and all the kids talking about, I was born in Hahnemann Hospital. And I was born in this place. And they was like, where were you born? I was like, jail.
correctional facilities.
So I'm like,
Wait,
I'm
isn't it beautiful how black people, how we could just laugh at some of the illest shit? Like we are just
I was
beautiful
embarrassed.
people, man.
and
Jail?
And
Wait, what was the name of the jail?
House of Correction.
It didn't even have a name. Like you couldn't even say.
House of
"Oh,
Correction."
Yeah, I was
Wasn't
born in the Robert F.
State Correctional Institution, something.
Yeah.
Called the House of Correction
House of
on State Road.
Could have been worse. Could have been like, I was born in the tombs.
I was born at HOC.
You know what I mean?
Hock. They called it Hock.
Yeah, I was born in Hock.
So I'm like,
Damn, that don't even say Hock.
nah,
When
man,
you
it
hock
cool.
something,
Nah, you have
it's
to
like
get it
you're
out.
giving it away or something. Like when you
spit-
hock
or
something,
or
you're pawning
or
it.
you spitting.
Right, hot spit.
Yeah. So I'm like, man, it's not cool. So I was embarrassed by it for years. I mean, people used to ask me, you know, like, where's your mom at? Where's your dad at? Like everybody didn't even at
Wait,
least
so
had
did
one.
you not know their history?
Not at all.
Oh,
I mean, how do you tell a 7-year-old your parents are in jail
right, as political prisoners
for
basically.
something, right?
Right.
I mean, I knew they were in prison, but I didn't know for what. There was no explanation. How do you explain that, right? So getting a little ahead. In 1978, when I was born, John Africa wanted the children to get away from the confrontational atmosphere in the city, so he sent us to a farm. We had a spot in Richmond, Virginia. It was 15 kids. Two moved women took care of the 15 kids, and that was a tough job because the oldest one was like 8 years old, and I'm going down there as a newborn, right?
Wow.
So we down there for a while. 1981, police find out where we at. They come to the house, they raid the place, they take us, all the kids, put us in an orphanage and put the adults in jail.
So they knew.
So we in the orphanage, separated from the family, separated from the adults, separated from each other. And while we're in there, I mean, this is 1981. White nuns ain't never seen locks on the head.
Wow. So they made you cut them.
No, they combed them out.
oh, man.
No, that father fella.
They combed your locks
They tried.
out.
My cousin, there's a picture in the newspaper from when they captured us, where my cousin's head, half of it is in an afro, and the other half is still locks.
Wow.
We were grieving. They stopped. They wouldn't. You know, we were losing weight. I mean, babies are not supposed to lose weight, but we were losing weight. They were force feeding us because we were dying in there. For 11 days, we were in that place. So, the two women that were taking care of us, they talked the judge into letting them out of jail and giving them a visit to see us. And they did. And they came to see us, and they liberated us from that place. All 15 of us, they put us in the back of a U-Haul truck.
Clap it up for liberation.
And they drove us back to Philly in the back of a U-Haul, from Richmond, Virginia to Philly in the back of a U-Haul truck.
Wow.
And
good 6-hour drive.
Yeah.
man, could you imagine what the bathroom stop on that road, on that trip was like? I mean, the cops were there. Look, listen, when we were coming out of the thing, she told the kids, go to that U-Haul truck, don't look back. We went to the U-Haul truck. You know, some of us had to be carried. We babies. And the police is all around. You know, the sirens from the, you know, the sound in their alarm. The police are coming. They're on their way.
Wow.
It's raining.
Wow.
The U-Haul truck is stuck in the mud. They have to get out of the truck and push while the cops are coming.
This sound like a movie, right here.
I know.
This sound like a movie, like seriously, like.
And, you know, want to push, hurry up, push. Panic. They finally dislodged it out of the mud. Man, you get guys. Boy, guys.
We out of this bitch.
Man, we rolled out. Cops, both sides, behind and in front. Till we hit the jurisdiction. The John, they couldn't go across no more.
Oh, so they're following y'all the whole way.
Trained on us.
Brothers.
But they couldn't, but as long as y'all didn't stop, they couldn't forcibly stop y'all.
And we hit the jurisdiction, they had to stop.
Wow.
Smoke
And this is probably before the days when they really could effectively call ahead and get
Right.
the other
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's a different day. Even if they got them, once you cross a certain line, you got to stop. You know, there's laws that
right,
some people.
but then the other
right.
police could have picked it up, though.
They could have, yeah. But this is 1981,
Right.
and it's country.
Right.
You know, so it's like
And what crime has been committed?
15 counts of kidnapping.
Yeah.
But
But they couldn't,
as far as
trying to get more police out there, whatever. It didn't happen.
Right.
We got, hey, look.
So y'all got home.
I thought about it years later and thought to myself, what was that first pit stop for gas like? What that must have been like when the kid said, I gotta go to the bathroom.
Oh, man.
You wanna get out and jump in the woods real quick and take a leak? But they did that, and that was a powerful example of true liberation. So when that happened, you know, a lot happened around that time. John Africa was in federal court because he was accused of making bombs, and the government had all these trumped up charges on him for this stuff that they said he did, threatening to blow up the ice caps in the North Pole so that he could flood the earth. They had all kind of stuff they made up on him. When he was arrested on May 13th, 1981, from the start of that arrest, and that's a whole other story, but from the start of that arrest to the day of his acquittal, even though he was facing 175 years in federal prison against a federal government that has a 97% conviction rating. Their slogan is, we always get our man. Harvard and Cornell trained prosecutors. Never lost a case before. They faced John Africa. John Africa was a third grade dropout. Went to court like I'm dressed almost right now, probably not even as nice. Slept through a lot of the trial. Told the prosecutor, you ain't gonna convict me on this case. I'm going home. Less than 2 months later, less than 2 months of a trial, John Africa walked home free. Represented himself. When that happened, man,
Just the mall.
they said, you ever see the movie? You saw Malcolm X.
Oh, yeah.
When they was checking on the brother at the hospital. They took him, they made sure he got to the hospital. When the cop said,
One
break
man
this up,
did
break this up.
That much power.
He said, I'm not satisfied. And they rolled to the hospital. They rolled out,
Yeah,
make sure the
dope.
brother was all right?
dope.
And that cop said that's too much power for that. What the movie should have had him say, just my opinion, is that's too much power for that nigga to have.
Right, should have
But
been.
they was being politically correct.
So they said what he said.
All the way in.
But
Shout out to John Will and
but the reality is that's what he was feeling, because he wouldn't have said that if that was J. Edgar Hoover, right? So when that happened, when John Africa walked out free, 4 years later, the government came to our house again with another assault, another attack.
But this time.
This time it was different.
This
Because it was
time
the
there
same
different-
police.
Different determination.
Different agenda. This time it was make sure none of those nappy-headed niggas come out alive.
Wow.
They shot 10,000 rounds of ammunition. The police shot 10,000 rounds of ammunition at our house within the first 90 minutes of the siege.
With knowing that women and children
Exactly correct.
were inside the house,
Exactly
correct?
correct.
And why were they there? What would make an army of police go to a house when the warrants that they were coming out there for were misdemeanors?
Right.
So they came to our house, they shot it up, and they dropped the bomb. And when the bomb ignited a fire, the fire commissioner and the police commissioner ordered their troops to let the fire burn. And when MOVE people tried to come out of the house, the police shot them back into the fire. When some of the people escaped the house, the police shot them and threw their bodies back into the fire.
Wow.
Miraculously, 2 people survived. 2 people. Birdie Africa, who was 13 years old, and Ramona Africa. And Ramona Africa was arrested. She was arraigned, and they tried, and they found her guilty in court of riot and arson. And they put her in prison for 7 years. She's the only person to this day that was punished for that day. And the warrants that they came out there for, that they said they came out there to, were dropped.
You know, after 60 homes have been burnt down.
61 homes, 250 people left homeless.
61 homes. So they didn't care about any residual damage, you're telling me.
Not that day.
They dropped the bomb on that home, but ultimately destroyed 61 homes with how many people left homeless?
250 people left homeless.
What I believe is that, yes, they had a mission to abolish the MOVE organization. But as careless as they were in the way that they tried to abolish it, the organization, they didn't even know how to put out a raging fire of that magnitude. And that's how all the homes burnt down.
Well, I feel like from the onset,
There was no organization.
that was taken into account, and they said, I don't care about those other niggas. They're with them too. They're probably helping them. Who knows? Like.
Perhaps, but it wasn't just black folks living in that neighborhood. And that's one of the other reasons why, you know, it might have worked out in the city's favor to just burn it down and start from new. Here you go, Drexel.
Well, this is a different neighborhood, though. Drexel wasn't there yet at that part. But the thing is,
Now, I'm not so familiar with
So,
Philadelphia neighborhoods.
this is 30 blocks away from Drexel.
What is Drexel?
Drexel is a university. It's
Okay,
a college.
got you. Okay.
And this part of this, Drexel is it's like center city. It's like the heart of the city where all the skyscrapers and all that stuff is.
So we know that's real estate. That's money.
Right. That was where the first confrontation was in August 8th. But the second one on May 13th, that was a middle-class black neighborhood.
So now this is so both confrontations didn't happen at the same location.
No, this was
I'm talking about 78. My
right.
bad.
So the second one was a middle-class black neighborhood. There were other people there. There wasn't only black people that lived around there. It was
Right.
Jewish families and,
Right.
just like you said. The thing about the letting the fire burn, there's such a thing, when the fire gets so hot, it has the ability to ignite in other places that it's not connected to.
Get the heat.
The heat of it
Right.
engulfs things that it doesn't. Like, if a
Doesn't
table
have to be touching it.
doesn't have to touch it. It gets so hot that the heat of it just connects to other things.
Right.
And I think that's over like 2,000 degrees.
That's the way that homes were being built with the insulations and the amount of wood versus
Flammable.
it's just very
Yeah.
flammable.
So when that happened, Ramona went to prison. My parents are still in prison. Those people that were in the house were fighting to get the people that were in prison out of prison. And so when that happened, it was like there was not many people fighting to get the people out.
How long were your parents in prison for?
At that point, 7 years.
And what was their whole bid?
Total, they spent over, my dad spent over 40. My mom spent just
said
about
40?
40.
A piece.
40 each.
No doubt.
So when Ramona went to prison, and I remember her, and my mom, they were at the same prison. So when she's about to get out of prison, I'm asking Ramona, can you come and get me, bring me back around, and she does. The day after she got out of prison, she came and got me, and we, and I was writing music. I had my own hip hop going on. I was listening to, my NWA, Fuck the Police, and I'm like, yeah, like this is my grandma didn't play rap music in the house. You know how some of the older people were, But when that song came out, she was like, turn that shit up. So
I like that one right there. Fuck the police.
yeah.
Fuck 'em.
So I'm writing my little raps, and I'm getting, So Ramona's like, yeah, these raps you doing, this is kind of good. So I'm, she's taking me around,
said,
and I'm meeting
"Grandma,
with different people.
You need to check out this brand Nubian right here. I think you might like it. But anyway, go ahead.
So then Ramona's on stage, and she's speaking all over. She's taking me with her. She says, this young boy was born in jail. And I'm like, whoa, you ain't supposed to tell people that. So one day, she kept saying it too, like she was proud of it, like it's a badge of honor.
And this boy was born in
I'm like, yeah, that's that guy over there. Like,
Damn,
so
man.
she gets off the stage one day and she says, every time I say that, you act like you don't like it. I say, well, nah, I don't. And she said, you should be proud of that. Your mother was strong and she was brave and it was, all of this stuff. And I'm like, okay. All right,
Different way to look at it.
It wasn't the teasing thing like my cousin was doing. So I'm like, all right, cool. So next thing in my rap, I was born in jail in the belly of the beast. Like, I got you. Like, yeah. I see my cousin the next time. I see my cousin next time. He was like, yeah, you was born in jail. I was like, you was born in the hospital for sick people.
Like suckers.
Yeah, y'all sick. That's why you in the hospital. I was born in jail. My mind's stronger than yours. Yeah. So it was like another thing now.
Yeah, you sick. That's why you born in the hospital.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
So we cool, like I'm doing my music and Ramona, she's speaking, I'm speaking too, but it felt like none of that was really like effective, right? So then Phil Africa, who's one of the Move 9, right? He spent 37 years in jail. His son was in the house May 13th. Me and Phil was real tight. I used to go see Phil all the time in prison, and I used to take him food and send him money. And he used to send me his old boxing tapes, trophies, and all this stuff, right? And then one day I get a phone call, and they say he was sick. I go to the hospital to see him, and he like in a coma. And I'm like, what's one of my heroes that's about to go, And we got him out of the hospital. He was better. And then a year later, I get another call. They say it's Phil. I say he's sick again. They say nah, he died. So I was like, yo, man, these people can't all just die in prison. And then I get a call from my dad, and he said, man, I got to go to the hospital, Mike. I'm like, why? And they're like, he's like, I don't know, I almost passed out in the shower. Diabetes runs in my family, high blood pressure. And this prison food ain't no good. I'm living across the street from a nuclear tower, man. I don't know. So I'm like, all right, I can't let my dad die in jail. My dad would give me his left arm and his right leg. If I needed, for whatever I needed, my dad would do it for me. So I'm like, I gotta do something. So I just went into overdrive, man, and I just worked. I met with lawyers, I met with investigators, I met with politicians, I met with citizens, I met with anybody who was willing to talk. Let's do this. Cops, the mayor that was involved that was with that was the mayor at the time when the bomb was dropped. He called on the radio show and said, I was wrong for what that was Wilson Good.
Okay.
He said, I was wrong for what
Black
happened.
mayor.
Black mayor. He said, I was wrong for what happened. I'm sorry that happened, and I want to do what I can to help get them people out of jail.
Wow.
The hardest thing I ever had to do was say, okay, let him help. But I did that. And I did that because I did not want none of my people to, no more of my people to die in prison. And that's what I had to go through. And it's been the hardest thing I've ever done since. Just thinking about it now, I'm getting a headache.
Well, they'll clap it up for your courage. And you might have felt like you didn't want to do, but ultimately was something you needed to do.
Man, and then on June 16th, my mom came home. October 23rd, my dad came home. The following year, Janet and Janine came home. Shortly after that, Eddie came home.
Okay.
So it's like we got 2 people left to get out of prison. Delbert. Check out the beating of Delbert, Africa. How them cops. You think Rodney King was beat bad? Check out the beating of Delbert, Africa.
It's the last scene. It's the last scene in part 1.
Check that out. And he's still in prison. His daughter was murdered on May 13th, 1985. He's 75 years old. And Chuck Africa is still in prison. My Uncle Chuck. He's been in jail since he was 18 years old. So we got to get them 2 out. We're going to try to do the same thing that we did for the other people to get these last 2 people out. And we're going to move on straight with Mumia, and we're going to keep it rolling and get all our people out of the prisons, man.
Listen, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back. I want to talk a little bit about Mumia, where his case is at now, how he kind of connects to the move. Talk about a little bit about the film festivals, things of that nature, where you're trying to get the film. Yeah. This is a great conversation, man. Yanadameen Godcast. We'll be back. Y'all will take us out. Yeah. Welcome back to Yanadameen Godcast. I'm Lord Jamar. Digger is not here. She's on vacation, but she'll be back next week. She went to Cancun. Having a great time with Foxy Alex. I hope y'all enjoyed yourself, but get your ass back here next week. Listen, don't forget to subscribe. Click that bell to get notifications when we drop new videos and, when we go on YouTube Live and all that. Shout out to our YouTube Live viewers. If you'd like to donate to the show, go to cash.me/$Yanadameen, patreon.com/Yanadameen, Yanadameen.com/support, or bounty.com/Yanadameen. Any amount is appreciated. Oh, first of all, I want to shout out to my $1 a week club. I talked about a $1 a week club, and it seems like people starting to join. Like, seriously. And I'm fucking with that. Like I said, we got 73,000 maybe subscribers. If each one gave $1 a week, we'd be balling out of control. We could pay everybody. We could do a lot of things. We can up the camera work, the sound, every fucking thing. We'd be doing, man, even if we had, what?
Remember, $1 a day will feed the whole
and listen, that's $52 for the year. But guess what? I'd rather you do the $1 a week so that you get in the habit of, donating something to something that's positive. You know what I mean? Instead of just giving $52.
A little tired.
Yeah. So, yeah, join the $1 a week club. It ain't gonna hurt you. Like, what? Come on now, $1 a week. Got bad cheap.
No 99 cents.
They got $8 fucking Dutches and shit now in New York City.
Give us $1. You give $1 to the bum outside.
It's $1.
The crackhead. Come on, now, they ain't crackhead.
Anyway.
We don't like crackhead. We regular motherfuckers. We eat salad.
It's not ashy.
Not at all.
If you was a crackhead, you had a lot of ash on your
Scratching
lips.
this shit in my head. Give us $1.
Don't smell like a crackhead.
You smell clean too.
Anyway.
Give us $1.
We got our special guest here, okay? Director extraordinaire, my boy Froi Cuesta in the motherfucking house.
Yeah.
And we got from the Move organization from Philly, we got Mike Africa Jr. In the house.
There you go.
Okay? We got to be specific, right? Because first of all, when you first walked in, I said, is this Mike Africa? Because I'm thinking, you look pretty young, brother. Although I know you're older than you look.
40.
Right.
I'll be 41 next month.
But you're not your father. The
Nah.
original Mike Africa.
Nah.
You see what I'm saying? I almost thought that Mike Africa was the Mike Africa originally coming. So when I saw you, I said, whoa, this.
Well, if I was
brother's
63
pretty
years
damn
old,
young.
man, I'd really be doing good, huh?
Hell yeah, you would. You could write all kinds of books.
Yeah.
And I would be
Dr.
like, yo, I
Sebi
need
style.
the secret, bro. Like, for real style,
yeah.
bro. What the secret is.
Secret
But,
sauce. Fountain of youth.
So, you know, we've been here talking to you about the Move, and man, you've shared some heavy shit with us. I want to get back to some of that because I want to talk about Mumia and stuff like that. But during the break, we were talking with Froi, and I'm not going to let you just sit here and like, you know, not be acknowledged for some of the iconic music videos that you've shot. So would you please share with the people some of the videos that you've shot and some of the things you've been a part of? You know, some of the stuff you were talking about while we were on break?
It was during the 90s that actually helped me get to.
Because you spoke about
finding out
Loud.
about Move.
You spoke about Loud, but you didn't get into what videos you did at Loud. So let's get to it, bruh.
Mob Deep.
Which Mob Deep?
One.
Which one did you do?
Shook One.
Oh! So you know what? Yo, Pete. You look good with that Henny in your cup. Why don't you just rock like that? Why don't you just rock
No
with the
doubt.
Henny on the set?
In the Saab.
He did that.
In the Saab.
In the Saab.
Going over the bridge.
Going over the bridge. So you did Shook Ones. What's another iconic one I heard you say? Raekwon, what?
Glaciers of Ice.
Glaciers of Ice. Let's clap it up for Glaciers of fucking Ice. First of all, if we can just flash back real quick and remember hip hop at that time,
that's the essence.
and for you to actually be shooting those videos at that time, like
I felt blessed though.
I was gonna say,
felt
how
blessed.
did that feel? Like, what was that like? That had to
Well,
be
there was energy, and there was some cats that
Just
definitely.
a kid from Nurshell
No doubt.
doing his damn thing,
Doing what I
shooting
love to do.
superstar music videos.
I felt blessed, baby, because it was the time. It was like, it's like being born at the right time. You know, there was certain energy that that allowed us to flourish and make, the business. It was the business of the music industry that helped a lot of us that had creative ideas spawn into directors and writers and editors and cinematographers, on the flip side, not just being an MC, a producer, a performer on stage, but someone that had the capabilities of capturing what was going on within that
Well,
music.
you did it very well.
I appreciate it.
Loved those videos, and man, that's some dope shit. I don't know if I even knew that until just now.
It was because of those videos during that time period.
Videos, but I don't know if I knew you did Shook Ones and fucking Glaciers.
I didn't
Ice.
walk around with a billboard saying that, you know what I'm saying?
Sometimes, these days, man, it seems
No, I
like
know.
the ones that walk around with the billboard.
No, you're right.
You know, we come from an era a lot of times where, and trust me, I was like this for a very long time. Like, you try to be super humble about certain things, but sometimes, man, you gotta toot your motherfucking horn, because ain't nobody else gonna fucking toot it for
No,
you.
my
You understand what I'm saying?
uncle said to me, he married into the family. He was from down south. My uncle said to me, be more like a rooster. I said, why, Uncle Jim? And he was like, 'cause, they tell everyone what time it is. And, I thought about it and it made sense. But in all reality, I want my work to speak for itself.
Yes, sir.
And
I
it was
feel
because of the videos and the climate back then that helped me get to another project that took me to South Africa for a month. And while I was there was when I decided, when I got back, honestly, I didn't feel like doing music videos anymore. And I just did what I had to do. And back then there was no internet. So I was going to the library, doing research. And I wanted to find something. I didn't know what, but I was like, I got to find something that could basically resonate amongst my people and help bring me to the next level. And that's what I was thinking about. And I found out about the MOVE organization, and I found out about Mumia Abu-Jamal, and I was just like, yo, how come I didn't know about this?
So I'm glad. Perfect segue. So a lot of people don't know about the MOVE. A lot of people don't know about Mumia Abu-Jamal. So let's talk a little bit about Mumia real quick and how he relates to the MOVE. Because again, he's in your movie Unalienable Rights. I voice
Mumia, that's
Mumia.
right.
I voice John Africa and I voice
Chucky
Africa.
That's right.
So, Mumia has been, he was on death row for how many years?
A couple decades.
Yeah.
Couple decades.
And then
for
again,
allegedly, coming to the aid of his brother.
That's right.
And, a policeman was shot and killed. Yes?
Yeah, no doubt.
Shot and killed. And they, he's maintained his innocence. And,
he has a new trial.
right. From what I understand, he now has a new trial. He's been taken off death row. So let's clap it up for that.
Free Mumia!
Free Mumia, that's right.
Free Mumia. Listen, this is something that it was been a call for a very long time. But at some point, and especially within hip hop, but at some point I feel like hip hop, lost its way, lost its political edge, and we stopped saying things like Free Mumia, So we need to put things like that back into the lexicon of hip hop and just into the popular culture, because it's all about what's popular these days. So Free Mumia, hashtag Free
That would be
Mumia,
nice.
right? That's how y'all do it now, right?
Get it viral. You know what I'm saying?
Hashtag Free Mumia.
Yeah.
Yeah, but how was he connected? And
Mumia was connected because he was a journalist. And
a supporter.
he became a supporter through his journalism because he was a true journalist. He would go to MOVE trials and he would see what was happening and he would report what happened. And at that time, with the Rizzo administration and with the racism and all of that, Rizzo did not want support for MOVE, especially from the news. Rizzo wanted the news. I mean, what's one of the demands of these people when they say we want the freedom of the press, right? So that they can make the narrative what they want it to be. But Mumia was going against that, like, I'm telling the truth. So he told the truth, and because he told the truth, brothers on death row.
The voice of the voiceless.
I mean, it's really, what did they do to Martin Luther King for telling the truth? What was done to Malcolm X for telling the truth? What was done to Jesus for telling the truth?
Execution.
So, the same thing they were trying to do to Mumia. And because he would not stop telling the truth, and because they attacked him, they put him on death row, and MOVE has been supporting him ever since he's been in prison. And right now, there's a lot of things happening with this case right now. A lot of things are shifting. The district attorney in Philly, Larry Krasner, who is doing a lot of things that's like progressive, Like he's doing a lot of things that people don't like, but he's doing some things that for the city, for Move. Like he wrote a letter of recommendation for my mom. DAs, I don't know if they usually do that, but he wrote a letter of recommendation for my mom. And when the city said that they didn't, that when the news media said that he did not write a recommendation, he went back to them and told them, yes, I did. And he wrote one for my dad. And things are happening in Mumia's case right now. We can't really get too much into it because there's a lot of things that still got to be dealt with before it's public. But you know, Mumia's been that rock, man. I mean, he talks about issues that covers everything. He talks about the things in Palestine. He talks about women's issues. He talks about the abuse of police brutality. He talks about you know, when you look at and listen to the things that he's talking about, it's always about trying to help people and trying to stop a system from oppressing people.
That's right.
And you know, that's why he's called the voice of the voiceless.
Let me ask you something. Why Move? Why was the organization called Move?
The organization is called Move because John Africa said life moves. Life moves. And without movement, there's stagnation. And you know, it is as simple as that. Everything has to move.
It's beautiful.
Everything vibrates.
No doubt.
Yeah. And what happens if it stops moving?
That's right.
It's dead.
It's dead.
No life.
And we ain't about that. We about movement. Activity.
Now tell me something that I thought was beautiful. I think would nice to share with the people. You said when your father got home, right? One of the first things he said he wanted to do. What did he say he wanted to do?
I said, Dad, you've been home, you've been in prison for 40 years. You're finally home. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? You can do whatever you want. You want to go somewhere, whatever you want to do, you can do. He said, man, I want to marry your mom, man.
Wow.
I said, you want to marry mom? I said, you can do that, but like, I said, yeah, we can set that up. He said, nah, I want that today. I said, Dad, how are you going to do that? There's no family and friends. He said, man, I ain't waiting another 40 years. I'm like, yo, I ain't saying 40 years, I'm like months. He's like, Mike, I ain't got a couple months.
Damn.
I want to marry your mom today.
Wow.
You know the scene from Goodfellas? Today. Get my money today.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
That's
Oh,
my
yeah.
dad. Like, no, I want it today.
Wow.
Wow, that's
So I'm like,
beautiful, man.
That's
Like-
awesome, man.
That's black love. That's black love, baby.
Like,
Yeah, that's black love.
I
for
got
real.
I got pictures, man. So look, I told him, I said, all right, well, look, you know, we'll set it up. I can't be a part of you marrying mom. You can do that. That's your business. But I can't be a part of that, and my sisters not be here because they'll kill me. So, like, you know, you go ahead and do what you got to do. But we'll get it all set up so that all your family and friends and supporters can be, you know, we'll hook it up however you want to do it. So we hooked it up, and you know, he got like we called his family and his friends, and 300 people came. Wow. 300 people came to see my mom and dad. And the reason it was 300 is because the place couldn't hold no more.
Wow.
We had a limit. We could only invite 200. But I was like, listen, we can't not invite this person. So like, we just gonna have to force it.
Other people.
So it ended up being like 300 people at this thing.
Wow.
So let me ask you, when you saw Froi's film, what did you think?
I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was like, I'm looking at it, I'm like, yo, Froi, I don't really want to like show nobody this, but can I show my mom? Like he's like, yeah, show your family. You know, Froi
How was his voice? How did he do your dad's
When
voice?
I heard
How was that? John Africa.
he did. So when I heard that, I was like, yo, I was trying to figure out who it is, and I didn't know that the same person was doing the different
Yes,
pieces.
that's dope.
So I'm like, okay, let me guess. Is that Common? Is that somebody else? And is that somebody? He was like, nah. He was like, nah. That's when I tell you, you know, because we shopped around and we tried to figure out who would be the best fit for it, and that's Lord Jamar. And I was like, word. Jamar, I got a girl that's better. So it was like that was the exchange, you know. And I was like happy to hear who it was, and then like impressed that it was those different people, right? And Chuck's my uncle, so I'm like, seeing it go down and like watching it, and it's so accurate. So I'm just like, yo. And I never seen anybody. Me and my friend Bobby, we were talking about somebody doing animation at some point, some kind of way, but I didn't expect it to be like what it was. So I'm looking at it, and I'm like, yo, that's powerful. I got my mom, I got my wife, I got my kids, and I said, yo, check, y'all gotta watch this. My kids, you know how the kids are these days. They got attention span that's like that.
Right.
So we all standing there. I'm sitting in front of the computer, and I'm sitting there watching it. And at a point, there's everything so quiet. I thought they left. I turned around and looked, and they were all just mesmerized, just watching it. Like, wow. So I'm like, I just can't wait to see
it's
the
definitely
final and what it's going to like be and how it's going to be, and I can't wait to the release to the world for it, man. It's powerful, man.
So, Froi, can't wait till it releases to the world. I know you've been entering it in certain film festivals and stuff like that.
Well,
you
know
got
it's a
things
process, man.
coming up, and I don't know all the politics of how all that shit you got to do.
Toronto Film Festival.
Didn't get accepted.
What?
Didn't get accepted.
Didn't get accepted. Canada.
Now you got to understand, I think the subject matter could have something to do with some of this
politics.
shit. But
It's
go ahead.
politics. If I knew the specific person, or a specific person, I should say.
It's not a slave movie.
Man. I don't want to knock certain organizations and festivals at all, because I know that, there's politics in everything we do. So,
I thought that would be good. That would be a moving.
But no, it
Hey,
has
with black
been-
film festivals, I didn't get in either.
ABFF?
Look,
Didn't get in.
What?
bro.
Martha's Vineyard didn't get in.
What did you get in?
We got in, first and foremost, Philadelphia Independent Film Festival.
There you
That
go.
was- that was the first one.
Philadelphia Independent Film Festival.
But I got to keep it real. I kind of kept it kind of on the low and quiet to just film festivals. Didn't do any marketing because I hadn't spoken to the family. And I wanted to make sure that I was on point with the direction of where we were going with part one at the very least. And that's why I'm glad we didn't go ahead and do, the three remaining parts. I really felt that I needed to speak to the family first to make sure that, they were, one, okay with it, and two, that I was hitting certain marks. Because there was things that, I was writing that, hey, a lot of folks might not have known. And it will be blatantly obvious as the other parts start to come out. Because it's not just about the MOVE organization or Mumia, it's about the climate and what was going on in Philadelphia at the time, with the mob and, corrupt city officials and Fraternal Order Police and a couple other entities that played a multitude of acts. So.
Well, we're here. It's 2019. You said we two more need to come home,
2 more.
and it's like,
Last August 8th marked 41 years for both of them. Wow. This last few days ago.
It's insane, man.
41 years. Chuck got cancer.
oh yeah.
Yeah. 15 rounds. He's been through 15 rounds of chemotherapy. It went away, or they was in remission. I just got a phone call from him. I went to see him and had a visit with him the other day. He couldn't stay on the visit long. He was in too much pain. He told me that they said some of the cancer is back. So he goes up for parole in December. And we're trying to get him home. It'd be nice to get him home by Christmas.
Well, listen. What is it that what do you want to see for just black people in general? Coming from everything that you've seen and everything you've experienced, you know, what is your hopes and dreams for us?
Let the outsiders go back home and we can make America great again.
Because if it's about love,
The outsiders can go back home.
Go back home.
if it's
Go back
about
where they came
love,
from.
Savages.
then that's what
'Cause
we
we
can
was
do.
already here.
My grandmother's Native American.
Holla.
And we ain't had no, and she ain't had no problem from the Africans. So I'm saying they can go back home and wherever they and do whatever they want to do with each other to each other. Leave us alone. That's all we asked for with the police when they came. Take y'all asses back up to Northeast Philly.
Right. And leave us
Leave
alone.
us alone. You know, you don't like the smell of garlic? Get away from me. I always eat garlic when I'm around vampires.
I was just gonna say that. You don't like the garlic, you must be a vampire.
Blood-sucking thieves.
You know, get away from they pimps. One of my mentors, he says they pimps, pirates, and parasites. Ain't no such shit as white supremacy.
Oh, I call it white insanity.
Hey,
At this point, that what we
Because it's
seeing
not
right now,
supremacy. Ain't nothing
nah,
supreme
nah,
about
ain't
it.
nothing supreme about what's
It's
going on.
white
bruh.
insanity.
No doubt.
that's what I want to see, man. Look, I want to see people, you know, together, and you know, black people as a people, we need to take care of each other.
Love.
We don't need to be hurting each other. We don't need to be killing each other. We don't need to be robbing each other. We need to be working together.
Love.
You know,
On the move.
on the move.
So listen, if people wanted to contact you or, you know, help support anything that you're doing, how can people get in contact with you? That's your
I'm
cameras
always
right
on
there.
the move. Come see. You can come check me out on Instagram, Mike Africa Jr. You can find me on Facebook, Michael Africa Jr. Those are the platforms that I use the most, and you can find out all the information. Any questions that you got, hit me up. Look, I'll put you to sleep with my talk. I just keep on rolling because I got a lot of information to share. You know.
It'll be
So just hit me
knowledge.
up, Mike Africa Jr. Facebook is Michael Africa Jr.
Froi, how can people get in contact with
Nah,
you?
I'm antisocial, so you know what I'm saying?
Well, how can people,
Never.
is there any kind
That's
of
why
like,
you don't get in the festival. You don't
I don't really.
is there a
I don't
website
play with the
for
poly.
the film or anything like that?
No, I mean, listen. God willing, when everything you know takes form as it's been, there will be more.
Okay.
That's it.
I will be the liaison for that information. You will give me the information, and I will impart it to our viewers
I would
when such
dearly
information
appreciate that.
comes to me.
I would dearly appreciate that.
My brothers, listen, all my brothers here,
It's a very informative night.
yes,
Very
man.
much so. I had nothing to say. I was gonna shut
No,
up.
thank you.
No,
thank
well,
guys.
you know, sometimes we gotta
It was-
just do the knowledge.
They have a lot of stories, man. It's like, you know, it just spoke for itself. It was like, it was great.
How much time do we have, real quick? 2 minutes? I want to ask you, okay, so all the suffering that you went through and that the move, the people in the move went through, is there a price tag you can put on that?
Price tag?
A price tag.
A price tag?
Can someone give you a certain amount of money to make all of that okay?
They can give me a nice little bit of money, and I'll
Reparation?
and I'll-
Is that what that called?
I'm
They can
asking a question.
They can give me a certain amount of money so that I can further my movement. Reparations, you know, the word reparation to me, reparation comes from the word repair, right?
Right.
You can't repair it.
Can something be repaired with money?
Not that kind of.
Not
I mean,
that
how
type.
can you bring back
It's
lives?
priceless. It's priceless.
But-
Life is priceless, man.
But being that we are in a situation where the system puts money between us and the things that we need,
And that's the
I mean,
reality.
yeah, that's the reality. You do need money. So if there's an opportunity to get some money, you should take it and use it to further your cause. Use it to take care of your family. Use it to to do what you need to do.
45 seconds.
Okay, I just feel like there's a bigger conversation here.
Oh,
I
you
feel
know
like
it is.
money cannot fucking pay for the pain that black people have been
No, because it's
gone
priceless.
through. We've had
Because it's priceless.
babies pulled out of stomachs,
It's priceless,
and
bro.
there is no money that can pay for
No.
that. But that's a whole nother discussion we're gonna have another time. And once again, for Yanadameen Godcast, I'm Lord Jamar, Godfrey. Digga, we'll see you next week. Mike Africa, Froi Cuesta.